In the previous video, we have seen the Fayol's principles of general management. Prior to that, we had also seen the scientific principles as advocated by F.W. Taylor. Today, we will be making a comparison between the principles given by F.W. Taylor and the principles given by Henry Fayol. So if you see, I have made three columns. The first column is for basis, the second column is for the principles given by Henry Fayol, and the third column is the principles given by F.W. Taylor. So first basis, if you see, the philosophy. So Henry Fayol's principles were general theory of administration. That means they were not specifically telling what to do at a particular your circumstance, but they were general theories which can be applied everywhere, and it can be applied in every level of management. Whereas F.W. Taylor's principles were scientific management, and the philosophy was more of science. That means cause and effect relationship was there. And now if we go to the second basis, it is focus. So Henry Fayol's principles, the main focus was on improving the overall efficiency of administration. That means how to increase the efficiency of administration of the entire organization. Whereas if you look at the principles of F.W. Taylor, their main focus was on increasing the productivity of the workers. That means how to get more output with the same amount of input. So that is why he had advocated the scientific principles, that science not rule of thumb, that we will use science not traditional methods or methods adopted or based on past experience. So his emphasis was more on increasing productivity. Then techniques, third basis. So Henry Fayol's principles were general principles of management. That means they could be applied anywhere in any type of organization. And F.W. Taylor's were scientific observation and measurement. So F.W. Taylor made lot of scientific observations and measurements, like he did time study, he did motion study. So what is time study? Like time study is a study undertaken to find out how much time should be taken to do a particular job or a task. A motion study is what are the motions that a person has to undertake in order to complete a job. Now sometimes it happens that the motions undertaken may be more than required. So by doing scientific observation of the motions, you can reduce the motions and thereby also reduce the time taken and the physical fatigue of the worker. So this leads to higher productivity. Now next basis is your personality. In personality, if you see, Henry Fayol was a general practitioner actually, and F.W. Taylor was a scientist. Then the next basis was emphasis. Henry Fayol mainly emphasized on top level management. That means if you look at the principles of Henry Fayol, all these principles were for the top level of management. So more work had to be done by the top level management regarding the principles or in respect of the principles given by Henry Fayol. And if you look at F.W. Taylor's principles, they were more of the lower level management. Like he discussed about scientific selection, training and development of workers. Then he talked about maximum, not restricted output. So all the output and other these things, they take place at the shop floor level, lower level management. Whereas the Henry Fayol's principles, if you see, like scalar change, centralization, decentralization, all these are decisions taken by the top level management. The next basis is scope. Now general theory of your administration as advocated by Henry Fayol, it has a wider scope, since it discusses about everything in an organization. And F.W. Taylor's principles, if you see, they are more narrow in scope. So they restrict mainly on increasing productivity, increasing your efficiency of the workers. Then the next your basis is approach. The principles of Henry Fowle, it has a top-down approach. Top-down approach means that your people at the higher level, they are working and they give commands to the people at the middle level and the lower level, and then the lower level do work as given, as instructed by the higher level. Whereas if you look at the principles as given by F.W. Taylor, they are bottom up approach. That means more emphasis is on the shop floor level or where the production takes place, and actually the instructions given are for those people who are really doing the work, who are working in the production or engaged in the productive activity of the organization. So that is a bottom up approach. Then next your basis is applicability of the principles. If you look at the applicability of the principles, then Henry Fowle's principles are universally applicable. If you look at any principle of Henry Fowle, whether it is your centralization, decentralization, whether it is your equity, stability of tenure, unity of direction, initiative, any of these principles are universally applicable. That means they are applicable in any type of organization, in any department, in any level of management. They are universally applicable. And if you look at the principles of F.W. Taylor, they apply to specialized organizations only. So mainly, if you look at the principles given, scientific principles of scientific management given by F.W. Taylor, they mainly discuss about your production. So here the main emphasis is increasing the production. So if you look at the principle like science not rule of thumb, then he talked about harmony not discord, scientific selection, cooperation not individualism, maximum not restricted output. All these mainly discusses about increasing the output, increasing the productivity of the organization. So they are applied only to specialized organizations only. Those organizations where production does not take place. For example, a service organization, there these principles may not be applicable so much. It is not that they will not be applicable, but they may not be applicable to the fullest extent. So these are the differences between the Taylor's and Fowle's principles of management. And after that, we will be looking at what are the relevance of these principles of management in today's world or today's business scenario. So if you look at, like for example, division of work. Now division of work, any task cannot be performed by a single person. It has to be broken into smaller specialized tasks, and that we discussed that it leads to specialization. Similarly, authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility should go in hand, that we discussed. So in any type of organization, authority should be supplemented with adequate responsibility. Then unity of command. Unity of command says that generally one employee should have only one boss. If too many employees are there, if one employee has more than one boss, then it will lead to your anarchy, more disturbance rather than coordination. Coordination will not be there. So then remuneration, fair remuneration should be given. Sometimes the management is biased and this principle is violated. Now this will not lead to better coordination between the management and the employees. Then order must be followed to avoid conflict. Now degree of order that is followed is different in different type of organizations. That is quite clear. Equity must be followed everywhere. There should be fair and justice to all employees. Some organizations, if they do not follow it, then there will be again a tussle between the management and the employees. So these are some of the your principles and how they are modified in today's world and how they are used.